Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. I can remember my grandfather having trouble buttoning his shirt. I can remember some people who, let's say, are over 90, having trouble putting on their clothing. And a young lady has recently come up with an idea and formed a company called MagnaReady, and these are dress shirts that are infused with magnets. We're going to find out the story about this right now with Mark Horton. Maura, welcome to Late Night Health. How did you decide to create MagnaReady clothing?
No, thank you for having me. My husband was unfortunately diagnosed at the age of 48 with Parkinson's disease, and he was traveling to, he was a college football coach, and he was traveling to a game, and after the game he was unable to get dressed, and a player had to help him. He came home and told me that what his challenge was, and what I heard more was the humiliation and the tone of his voice, and decided to try to see what was available. And lo and behold, not much was. So I created this magnet-infused product.
You have a background in fashion, especially for kids, I believe.
I do. I was a kids' clothing designer, but had taken a hiatus so that we could have our own children. So I was out of the game for about 10 years.
Oh, well, fashion changes, but it always comes back.
Correct.
What does Heidi Klum say? What's her tagline? It has to be fashion forward. Fashion forward, right?
Absolutely.
One day you're in, and the next day you're out.
That is true. Yeah, I like that.
Unfortunately, she's not going to be saying that anymore. She's not hosting it anymore.
No, is the show coming back?
Yes, with a different host and co-host.
And
her and Tim are going to do something else together.
Are they?
Yeah,
got it. Because she's doing America's...
It's a whole Weinstein fallout.
Right, exactly. Well, let us take a look. And by the way, your husband coached for North Carolina State. He did.
He was Boston College for 10 years, North Carolina State University, Ohio State, Virginia. It was definitely his life calling was coaching.
When people have problems with their hands, with that, I can see the emotional problems that people have, and say, "Hey, can you help me button my shirt?" It's much different than a wife or a girlfriend saying, "Honey, can you button? I don't even fasten my necklace."
Sure. You know, it's definitely was a humiliation point for him because he just didn't realize the depths that his disease would take his dexterity away. But he also had challenges. A lot of people travel for work, and he said to me at another point that he had to go and ask the concierge to help him. And a lot of people just don't have that option of asking someone.
Which is... we all want to be independent.
Sure.
Having a good-looking dress shirt rather than something that's institutional is of interest to me. I like wearing nice clothing. Okay, I shop at the outlets, but that's another story. My point is that we all want to look good, but a lot of times clothing for people with physical challenges don't look good, and they're boring in colors and things like that.
Yeah, they're often very therapeutic looking, or more just conventional as far as function first and not fashion first. When I sought out to create it, I definitely wanted to make sure that no one could tell that underneath the shirt it was fastened by magnet closures. And B, he was a Brooks Brothers kind of guy, and so I tailored it similar to their classic dress shirt that's been around since the 1800s. So that was paramount for me, those two touch points.
the fashion part of this. Let's talk about that. How do you design a shirt? I mean, isn't a shirt a shirt?
One would think a shirt is a shirt, but there's so much that goes into it as far as fabrication, pockets, collars. Some people like spread collars. Some people like button downs.
I hate spread collars. I like narrows, and I like the button downs.
You are a traditional classic gentleman, then.
My biggest thing. I don't know what your fabric is made of. I am an all cotton guy, and I recently complained to Macy's because even their own high end shirts are now like 20% polyester.
Yeah, ours are 100% cotton as well.
Yay!
It's you want the fabric to breathe with you, but I know what you're talking about. So ours are definitely 100% cotton.
You should also look at bamboo.
Sure.
Bamboo fabric. I can wear that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, it's definitely on the trend.
It is on the trend, and it's they're very, very comfortable. I was given a sports shirt recently. We did an interview, and it's such a beautiful shirt. They said, you go and you work out and you sweat in it. I don't want to ruin it. They said It won't ruin. That's the other. It would actually be very. That's a very good. I've given you 2 ideas in 5 minutes. Is that right?
Right.
Are there? You design this for people with Parkinson's, but you found that other people can use them as well?
Yeah, when I first started, I wasn't going to be a company at first. I was just going to retrofit his shirts, to be honest with you. But after I did a lot of research, I quickly saw, before we launched, how many people have the challenge. And so Parkinson's is a small segment. That's about 1 million of the population. When you're living in it, it seems large, but on a scale of people, it's not. And I quickly saw arthritis was over 50 million people that are challenged with that difficulty. And as we mentioned before, neuropathy, stroke, wounded warriors, ALS. So it was definitely what propelled me to jump into it as a company was the vast numbers of people with the challenges. And more importantly than that, and a large percentage of our customer base is really just what I call the silver tsunami, or just baby boomers who have lost a little dexterity, don't necessarily have a disease or an ailment, but just that fine motor skill has become a challenge to them, and they want to live independently, as you suggested, and dressing is one of the major things that keeps them independent. So that's why we really started it.
Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? I mean, you were a stay-at-home mom, which is more than a full-time job.
I mean, I think I have the entrepreneurial spirit always, but it wasn't, when I think that this idea was just something I had to take forward, but it wasn't like my lifelong calling to be an entrepreneur. Looking back, I should have been more scared.
But you were doing this out of love.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're based in the Boston area, and correct?
I'm in North Carolina now. Yes, Boston is my home, really.
Oh, okay. And here's a couple of things that's happened to Maura over the last number of years. She's the big one was you're a mentor for MIT's Open Style Lab. I think that's kind of cool. And you're a winner of the Gold Stevie Award in the Female Entrepreneur of the Year Consumer Products category for women in business. And you won the Caregiver Friendly Award. I mean, these are really good because caregivers can now help and assist somebody getting dressed, but you don't have to do the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, that's probably the one that means the most to me because I was a caregiver as well. So it's definitely, there's a lot of challenges when you're a caregiver. So if you can take off the table one or two of those, it just helps you tremendously.
Being a caregiver, was that mentally? I mean, I know it's mentally and physically challenging. Can you share some insights into that?
Sure. We had when my husband was ill, we had 2 small children at the time as well. So it was definitely a challenge, not only just taking care of him and taking care of them, but also bridging the gap of knowing that your time together may be limited and trying to preserve memories. And, it's just a vast array of emotions and ebbs and flows that you go through as a caregiver. Obviously I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's not for the faint of heart either.
Any thoughts on people being caregivers?
Just breathe. Sometimes it gets really hard. You just got to take a moment to step back and, breathe and know that, this might be a moment and it might pass. And, there's always, it's ever changing. So you just got to keep going on and trying to build support systems if you can. Not everyone is blessed with support systems. So you just got to try to build whatever you can to help you out. And
at the same time, you have to take that deep breath. We were just talking with Daniel Gutierrez, who has written a book called Radical Mindfulness. And he was saying that, you should take a breath, at least for 60 seconds. You take it and blow it out for 60 seconds. And I know that caregivers can get frustrated, or the patient, the loved one gets frustrated and takes it out on the caregiver. That's got to be real hard too.
Yeah, I guess I knew that didn't bother me because I always knew that was his disease and not him. I think the hardest part for me was just mourning someone while they're living and knowing that, little pieces of them are no longer available, or that, the future that you had built together isn't really the roadmap that is ahead of you any longer. I can see where people get frustrated, but I think the most important thing is to always remember it's the disease and not them. And, in any relationship, I was married for 24 years, so there were times when he didn't have a disease that I was frustrated with him too, and I'm sure he was frustrated with me as well. So, that's the ebb and flow of marriage. But when you interject an ailment or a disease, it's you just have to remember that that's what it is and not the person.
I like that. That's a very, very kind way of looking at it. Listen, everybody, if you want information on MagnaReady, go to MagnaReady.com, MagnaReady.com. We'll also have a story and some information at LateNightHealth.com, all about Maura Horton and her product line. We wish you well, Maura. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Okay. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Coming up next, Robert Clancy from the Mindset Reset TV show. Don't go away. More coming up. Join us at Facebook.com/Late Night Health Radio. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me criminally insane? Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews from the latest from the greatest have been captured on audio book. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?